Apprenons l'anglais en contexte. How do you come up with a different place to visit?
A lot of it is driven by
Motivé par.
cost and opportunity as well. Of course, sometimes I think, I would love to visit the Philippines, and then I just go if I'm nearby, right?
Il y a une nuance grammaticale à faire entre near et nearby. Near est une préposition et est donc suivie d'un complément. Vous direz par exemple, I'm near the house. Je suis près de la maison. Nearby, par contre, est un adverbe et ne prend pas de complément. Vous direz par exemple, I live nearby. Tout court, j'habite à proximité.
Especially in countries where the cost is lower, it's easier to travel and spend a bit of time. And then if I want to save money, I might either stay in an Asian country, or if I go to a Western country, I do certain things to save money on rent. Obviously, now I'm staying with a friend, but there's other options as well, right? To save money in that way. So it's just a little bit driven by cost and opportunity, also by the weather.
La température.
The weather a little bit. I prefer when it's warm.
Lorsqu'il fait chaud.
And sunny versus when it's gray and rainy. So I kind of follow the sun a little bit as well.
Is it challenging for you to reconcile? Reconcile, c'est concilier. For you to reconcile your professional life with your personal life. It looks as if you were basically on holiday every single month of the year as you're traveling. You're alone abroad. You're not with your family and you're alone abroad.
Yes. I love how you said that. It looks like I'm on holiday every day of the year, because that is what I get a lot. And that is why also my family says, when are you going to come home and get a real job? And I was like, I do have a real job. Just don't see it. I'm just I share different things on my social media, right? And that might not be one of them. You have to be super disciplined if you're a freelance worker as well, because it's very different from being employed. If you're employed, you have your set hours.
Des horaires fixes.
Somebody tells you exactly what to do. The threshold,
le seuil.
The threshold for getting fired is also a lot higher, in my opinion. So there's a lot more stability. So I understand why people do it. It has a lot of advantages. For me, it's not something. And I find a lot of people also complain about that stability. They want the stability, but then at the same time, they complain about it. And it's the same thing with freelancing. There's good and bad parts to it. So like I said, I have to be super disciplined. If my clients want something and it needs to be done until tomorrow, I do it. If it's midnight, I do it.
I guess that's one of the good things about being abroad and alone, because then it's not hard for you to spend almost an entire day working.
Yes, it can be hard though. If you spend time with friends, for instance, and you tell them, I have to go, my client needs something, and they don't understand. They don't understand, it's Sunday, why do you have to work? And I was like, well, how I choose my lifestyle is I get more freedom on other days, but then if my client needs something, I'll be there, because I also don't want to lose that client, because the client is giving me independence and freedom, even though you can't see it at this moment. But what I don't have is a 9-to-5 that I need to follow all the time. So I may have more flexibility on other days when you're at the office, but it's really difficult to explain it to somebody that is in a 9-to-5 and maybe doesn't have that drive,
cette motivation
to do something for their work, because they are there so many hours already, right? So they do what they are being told. But if you're a freelancer, you basically have to go above and beyond to make sure your client is happy and they keep you on.
You mentioned freedom. What does it mean to you?
For me,
il y a une nuance à faire entre to me et for me. On utilise la préposition to me, pour donner son opinion sur un sujet, et for me pour indiquer les effets et les avantages d'une chose. Par exemple, this is good for me. C'est vrai que dans le langage populaire, vous entendrez même des natifs dire for me pour donner leur opinion, mais à l'écrit, cela serait considéré comme une faute. What does it mean to you?
For me, I see freedom a lot in location independency. So for me, freedom is I can take my laptop, go anywhere in the world and still get paid, without having to inform my employer, without having to go to an office in a country, without taking time of leave, right? Having to put in time of absence or anything. I can just go and basically make those decisions, because I know I'm disciplined enough to still work And it might look like if I'm like in some part of the world, I might have to attend a midnight meeting.
Right.
Because my client is in the US and I'm in Australia. It was like that recently. So I had to sit there at midnight to like take a meeting. But I'm willing to...
Je suis disposé à.
Willing to do that in order to be able to decide where I want to be at any given time.
Et voilà, pour plus de contenu, abonnez-vous et activez la cloche de notification. À présent, essayez de faire un bref résumé de la conversation dans les commentaires pour évaluer votre compréhension.